What's up? Come on in, hit that like button, subscribe, support the channel. About to give you some good information about how the children of God became 13th, 14th Amendment citizens rather than the sovereign owners of this land. This land which is called America, which is actually just a corporate entity that is placed over what is biblically known as the Holy Land, the land of Israel, the land of Jerusalem, people of Israel, the people of Jerusalem, Afro-Americans, copper-tone complexioned individuals that look a little something similar to how I be looking up here on this screen. Looking good, I must say. But anyway, today we're going to watch a film as usual. We're going to break this down about the 14th Amendment and the true meaning of the 14th Amendment. Now, biblically, the 13th Amendment crucified us, and the 14th Amendment resurrected foreigners or immigrants into our position. Foreigners and immigrants biblically known as the kings of Babylon and those. The 28th chapter of Deuteronomy states that if we follow the laws and guidelines of God, we'll be the most prosperous people of the land. But however, if we chose not to follow it, as we did as a people, we would be subject and bound by foreign entities. Think about that one. All right, let's get straight to it. We try to keep it short and sweet and to the point, so let's go.
Today we're continuing our journey
Oh yeah, put your discernment caps on for this one.
Today we're continuing our journey of looking at and interpreting the significance of the U.S. Constitution. The 14th Amendment is our focus. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life.
So look, this is how you gotta peep this. When they speak of the United States, in this instance, they're speaking of a corporate entity, a business, an organization set up by the Catholic Church, the Vatican, and the Crown. They're not speaking of the land itself. They're speaking of the states, the corporate states. And in order to be a citizen of this corporate state, you had to become a bondman or a bondwoman, just to keep it simple. Let's go.
Liberty or property, without due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction. Today we're continuing.
So basically what they're saying is foreigners were allowed to come in and take the position of the original royalty of this land known as North America.
Our journey of looking at and interpreting the significance of the U.S. Constitution. The 14th Amendment is our focus. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due.
Now notice how they continuously use the word state. That's a key word in breaking the code. States. Google states in a Black Laws dictionary, and it'll give you a clearer ideal or vantage point of what's actually being said within this information. Also, you might want to check out the 1828 Webster Dictionary. Very intriguing words within that also.
Due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. An interesting use of language, to say the least. A monumental shift in the American legal system.
To say the least.
A moment which requires the concern of responsible citizens. The 14th Amendment encapsulates the foundation of our society. It makes clear that man constitutes all of us, regardless of skin color, heritage, social status.
There we go. Skin color, copper tone, heritage, the children of God, social status, royalty, race, Israel, Jerusalem. So regardless of the original status that we held in this land, according to this people paper, everybody is equal. And once you apply the 13th Amendment, we became criminals and they became who they are today, which is totally against the laws of God. But we're going to go on.
Status or race. It's not just a dusty piece of parchment tucked away in a museum, but a vibrant, living part of the American legal framework. Its impact is felt in courts across the nation every single day. That's exactly what the 14th Amendment has done. But what exactly is it? The 14th Amendment didn't appear out of...
The 14th Amendment is a license for foreign entities, immigrants, to come within this land and claim what is rightfully ours. What is rightfully the children of God's birthright-giving land. And they was 14th Amendment literally erased us and put them into our position.
Thin air. It was born out of a tumultuous time in American history, the aftermath of the Civil War. The nation was in a state of turmoil.
Yeah, I know they talk about slavery, this one and that one, but they were the slaves. They were the Slavics. They were the one that came over here. They even teach that. The Pilgrims and whatnot was just a bunch of criminals and slaves. They were the one that needed to be freed. And once again, due to the children of God, Afro-Americans losing their sight of God, we became the ones that were enslaved with the stroke of a pen.
With its social fabric torn apart by the brutalities of war. The abolition of slavery marked a significant turning point, yet the struggle for civil rights was far from over. In this climate of change and uncertainty, the 14th Amendment was conceived. It was 1868, a time when the United States was in the throes of Reconstruction.
Reconstruction, see that word right there? They was changing everything, reconstructing everything, away from the original status of the people and the land into this corporate entity that we're all a part of today. By all, I mean people in general. Me personally, I've been pulled out of the matrix. I've been set free. That's why I'm here to give you this truth, because it is the truth that shall make you free. Hit that like button right now. Subscribe right now. And support the channel if you feel. Hashtag Focus Daily TV.
The country was slowly starting to mend its wounds, but the task of rebuilding was daunting.
It's crazy how they keep showing these melanated people, but it's irony too at the same time, because it was the melanated ones that were stripped of their royalty, once again with the stroke of a pen. This legislative witchcraft.
The abolition of slavery had left a significant portion of the population, the newly freed African Americans, in a state of limbo, without the legal protections afforded to other citizens. Enter the 14th Amendment. It was one of the Reconstruction Amendments, a trio of legislative...
So basically, the 13th Amendment made us criminals. It crucified us in the sight of God. And in order to become a part of this new kingdom, as the Bible said we wanted a king. We wanted to be like everybody else. Hey, we ended up being registered and classified and censused to death till we became nothing but black. And black legally means dead under the law. It means nothing. That's why we must be resurrected by Christ. Let's go.
Measures aimed at rectifying the social and political inequalities that persisted in the wake of the Civil War. The 14th Amendment in particular was designed to establish equality for all citizens, regardless of their race or previous.
That's right. Everything you've learned has been a big deception, has been the opposite of what the truth is. We were never brought here from Africa, us as Afro-American people, that is. We've always been here. It was always a thriving civilization right here in this land. California, San Francisco, this one and that one. That was already here when they got here. You're watching the news, California feeling it right now, but that's a whole nother situation. We was already here when they got here. We were royalty. We were stripped of our royalty as prophesied in the Bible.
Previous condition of servitude. It granted citizenship to all persons born or naturalized in the United States, and it guaranteed equal protection under the law. The 14th Amendment was the first step towards
A bunch of anchor babies who descendants came over on pirate ships around that late 1800s. It was an influx in immigration, and they needed to make them people legally a part of this corporate entity that they were setting up. And that's what these amendments did.
a more inclusive America. It laid the groundwork for the civil rights movements of the 20th century and continues to shape the nation's legal landscape to this day. So what exactly does the 14th Amendment say, and why is it so important? Well, let's look into its contents and influence. The 14th Amendment, ratified in July of 1868, is a cornerstone of American civil rights. It's composed of 5 sections, but the first one is especially noteworthy. This section established,
In a nutshell, it gave immigrants an opportunity to replace us as Afro-Americans. But we're going to see what they say.
establishes birthright citizenship and promises equal protection of the laws and due process of law to every person within U.S. jurisdiction. Let's break that down. Equal protection of the laws means that every person, regardless of their race, religion, or other characteristics, should be treated equally by the law. This clause has been instrumental in challenging and dismantling discriminatory practices. The due process of law clause ensures that the government
The Bible states that the foreigners were the slaves. The foreigners didn't have access to the temple. But all of a sudden they come in with this 13th, 14th Amendment citizenship, and now the foreigners think they run everything. Just listen closely, pay attention, and the truth shall reveal itself. Focus Daily TV. Hit that like button, subscribe, support the channel, hashtag Focus Daily TV. Hang in there, we almost out of here.
government cannot deprive an individual of life, liberty, or property without a fair process. This clause has expanded the reach of constitutional protections, ensuring that individual rights are not infringed upon arbitrarily. Now let's talk about a landmark case.
That's right, expatriated citizenship on stolen land and stolen legacy.
Where the 14th Amendment was invoked. Brown versus Board of Education. This 1954 Supreme Court case challenged the notion of separate but equal, established by an earlier ruling in Plessy v. Ferguson. The plaintiffs argued that segregation in public schools was inherently unequal. The Supreme Court agreed, and using the 14th Amendment's Equal Protection Clause, declared school segregation.
Using that clause, they put everybody into, turned everybody into the Hitler's Youth. They indoctrinated everybody into this make-believe, time immemorial, historical nonsense. All were equally deceived. That's it.
Unconstitutional. This ruling was a monumental victory for civil rights, setting a precedent for the end of legal segregation in other public facilities. It demonstrated the power of the 14th Amendment as a tool for expanding civil rights and combating discrimination. The 14th Amendment's influence extends beyond the courtroom. It has shaped public.
The foreigners were the one that was being, quote unquote, discriminated against. They were not allowed to have any title. They weren't allowed in the temple. All they were allowed to do was work through a charter that was granted to them by the Lord to do their work. And that's it. But all of a sudden, they disenfranchised us, assassinated Abraham Lincoln, and the coup began.
Policy and societal norms, promoting a culture of equality and justice. It has been invoked in struggles for women's rights, LGBTQ+ rights, and immigrant rights, among others.
The dang sure don't got nothing to do with the LGBTXYZ, but that's a whole nother story.
The 14th Amendment has fundamentally shaped the American legal landscape, ensuring equality and justice for all.
LGBTXYZ wasn't even a thing back then. You see how they like to try to slide in sin, and make everybody a part of it. Oh, even the sinners have equal rights in the land of God? What kind of nonsense is that?
Its enduring influence is a testament to its importance in our nation's story of civil rights and equality. The 14th Amendment isn't just a piece of paper, it's a promise of equality and justice that we strive to fulfill every day. Reflecting on our journey through history, the birth of the 14th Amendment emerges as a beacon of hope in a time of strife. Its words echo through the corridors of time, shaping the landscape of American civil rights. Its profound influence on legal decisions, as we saw in the case discussed, is a testament to its enduring relevance. This amendment, with its promise of equal protection and due process, permeates every facet of our lives, often in ways we may not even realize. It's the invisible thread that weaves the tapestry of our shared experience as Americans, coloring our understanding of fairness, justice, and equality. The next time you hear about a civil rights case in the news, remember the 14th Amendment.
Wake up. Another episode in the annals. Hit that like button, subscribe, support the channel, #FocusDailyTV. We out.